Welcome, purple and teal dragons, to the final video for topic 11 on using models and strategies to subtract tens. The last couple lessons for this topic are just practicing what you've known, what you've learned already. So the final strategy I'm going to show you today is about using mental math to subtract a 10. So when we do mental math, we try to avoid using our pictures, our number lines, and all of those tools, and we think about place value and how to change it all in our head. So when we're subtracting tens, we are working on the tens place when we're thinking of a number's place value. So if I had the number 35, you might remember from class or from some of my other videos that this number, 5, is in the ones place, and our 3 is in the tens place. If I'm subtracting a 10, the only number I'm going to change is the tens place number. Ones is off limits. We're not messing with him. We're not changing him. They can stay exactly the same as they are now. The tens place, though, is going to go down by 1 10. So if we look at that number 3, we can think in our head, I know 3 minus 1 is 2. So I went down to 2 tens. And again, I'm not subtracting anything from my ones place, so I'm just going to drop them down. So my new number, after I subtracted 10 from 35, is 25. I have 2 tens, and I still have 5 ones. Okay? So we're going to do a few more examples of those problems. So let's say that I had the number 97, and I wanted to subtract a 10 from that number. We know if we break apart 97, that we have 9 tens and 7 ones. Since I'm only subtracting a 10, I'm not going to mess with the ones place. So we're going to start over here. And we think if I have 9 tens and I take away 1 from that spot, I'm going to go from 9 down to 8 tens. So instead of having 9 up front, I now have an 8. And because I don't have anything in my ones place that I'm subtracting, the 7 gets to be left alone. He's going to stay exactly where he is. So my 97, when I subtracted 10, goes down to 87. And again, this spot, the tens place, is the only number that is changing in these problems. Let's try another one. Let's say that I had 48 minus 10. Now this time I'm going to try to do it without making my chart. So I can think for my two numbers, I have 4 tens and 8 ones. And over here I have 1 10 that I'm subtracting, and I'm not subtracting any ones because there's a 0 in this spot. So if I focus just on the tens, I know that 4 minus 1 is going to take me down to 3. And if I look at my ones place, my 8 I'm not messing with them. I'm subtracting 0. It's going to stay exactly the same for that problem. So I know that 48 minus 10 is 38. So these are just kind of quick little tricks that you can do when you're working with only a 10 to help you subtract easier. We can even do this with bigger numbers if you don't want to draw your models or use your number lines. This is a little bit beyond the lesson in the workbook, but I'm just going to show you one example of how you can do this in your head. So I'm going to take 73 and I'm going to subtract 20 instead of just a 10. Again, I can label the spots for both of my numbers. I know I have 7 10s and 3 1s. I know I'm subtracting 2 10s and 0 1s. Again, we're going to focus on the tens place first. So the 7 minus 2. Again, I can think in my head without drawing all of the pictures that if I start at 7 and I go backwards 2, I have 7, 6, 5 that I land on. I can do that really quick in my head, especially if I know all of my math facts 0 through 10. That should be really quick. And I'm not touching my ones place because 3 minus 0, I'm not taking away anything. I didn't touch it. It's going to stay 3. So I know that 73 minus 20, really quick, was 53. And I did all of that without having to draw my 10 sticks, without having to use a number line, without having to really write anything except labeling my place value spots. So this is a really useful thing to do, especially once you get really good at recognizing your place value. So this is the last strategy that I'm going to show for topic 11. So again, you can just kind of try them all out for each of your lessons. And once you get to the ones that are just practicing strategies, you're able to pick the one that works best for you. So don't feel like I have to use mental math. I have to use a number line. Nope, I've given you a lot of options. Now it's your job to figure out what's the best fit for you. So I'll be posting again next week for our next topic. So keep your eyes peeled for that, and I hope all of these videos were useful for you guys and that you found them helpful. Feel free to comment if you liked it. But yeah, have an awesome rest of the day, purple and teal dragons. I miss all of you so, so much.